All right, what's up, guys? Hey, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising, Snapchat advertising, what's the latest, what's going on. I'm Brian Meert. I'm the CEO of Advertisement. We're an agency that specializes in Facebook ads. So today we're going to be going over a couple topics really quick and then doing Q&As at the end. So if you're joining us for the first time or just watching this, I love, leave your comments, tell me who you are, tell me where you're at, tell me your biggest questions about Facebook advertising and what your problems are, or if you have any questions that are going on. If that's happening, you have the ability to, that I'll try to answer your questions as they come through and stuff like that. So let's see, we're going to begin with how do agencies charge for their services. So a lot of times people have had questions about how does an agency charge, or what do they charge for their services, especially when it comes to Facebook advertising. So there's a couple different models that people have used in the past. Probably the most popular and the model that Advertisement runs on is the agency rate. So a couple of things that the agency rate is, it's usually a flat percentage of the total spend. A lot of advertising agencies in the past have done this with media buys. So the upside there for a company, if you're looking to hire an agency, is the fact that you have a flat percentage rate that you understand exactly how much you're going to spend. There's no hidden charges. It's a set amount that as you spend more, that agency covers everything that needs to be handled. If you're spending more, there's a lot more work that would probably entail to get the job done, and your agency rate helps you be able to cover and manage that. So a lot of times the argument that can be made against this is that it scales with your spend, and people just don't like, they're like, well, I want to save money versus spending more. But generally, I've found that this is the best approach that aligns both goals of both the company and the advertiser to be able to get the best results possible. The second model is what's referred to as the flat monthly rate. And in this option, you are giving a flat amount of money every month for someone to be able to manage your ads. So the upside here is, hey, cool, I'm just paying X amount of dollars per month, and someone's gonna go do the work for me. If I spend more, if I increase my budget, if I lower my budget, it doesn't matter. I have a set pricing that I'm gonna pay every month. Now this model works well. A lot of people like this because they think they're saving money. The downside of this approach is, especially when it comes to Facebook advertising, a lot of times, there's a lot of change needed. If something's not working, if there's deliverability issues, if the ads aren't working and you're going to need to recreate them or refresh them or go create new creative, at that critical moment where you need the most amount of help, your agency's going to be pulling back, because that's the time when they're making the least amount of money, meaning they need to go the extra mile during those times, and you're in a system that's incentivizing them. When it comes to the amount they're going to make per hour, is getting less and less and less in that critical time. So I generally don't recommend that approach, simply because, especially when it comes to Facebook advertising, that is a rough situation to be in, because you ultimately want to get results, and you want to be quick and fast and have the ability to get those results. The next agency model is what's called a flat rate plus an agency rate. So a lot of times this is where people will charge a flat amount every month and then maybe a smaller agency rate underneath or on beyond that. So the upside here is, it kind of is the in-between of those. So you're like, hey, the agencies are getting a set amount of money and then they can offer a lower rate. The companies don't have to pay as high of a rate. There is an upside with that. The one downside I found to it is it often gets billing really complicated, to where now you're trying to look and what am I really paying, and there's two different items on invoices, or things that can go up and down. So it's an extra step in terms of watching your numbers and knowing exactly, is our spend profitable or not, or how to be able to work your ROI numbers with your agency. So that's the next model. There also is what's known as a monthly retainer. So this one, again, sounds great from the service. You find a person who's an expert and you say, I will pay you in advance for X number of hours for your expertise to manage our campaign. So again, and then they're kind of at your disposal. If you need help, they'll go and work on it. If they don't, that's kind of there. So the downsides with this approach is, you're prepaying for work that is yet to be done. If that person never completes that work, or at some point down the road you guys split ways, you've already prepaid them for work that they didn't do. A lot of times these type of rates are done at high consultant levels, so $100+ per hour to be able to have someone on a retainer. And not necessarily all the time, unless you're watching it, are you able to roll over the hours. So a lot of times you can be overpaying with retainers if you're bringing on an individual or an agency on a retainer basis. And the last one's a rev share / CPA model. And in this model, a lot of times people will approach either an expert or an agency and say, we have a product that, we need to sell it for $50. That's our target. And of that, we're then profitable if we do that. So we'll bring you in, and anything you can sell it for less than, $45, we'll give you $5 per purchase. So the upside there is, from an advertiser standpoint, you're like, this is great, right? They're going to go do all the work. They're going to give me results. And I'm only going to, pay when a purchase is made. So there's definitely an upside to that. The downside is, I guess the upside is if your CPAs are good, it's going to be easy for you. But on the downside, what happens is, if your CPAs are great, there's a lot of money on the table that if you had just hired an agency, you might be able to get your CPAs at $10 or $20. So if you haven't even tested the waters with your remarketing or your dynamic product ads, a lot of times you could be massively overpaying for a rev share type model or a CPA type model. And again, when it comes to these type of agreements, these people are only going to care if they can make a lot of money and they're excited. It's because you probably had a lot of really easy targets there. And at the flip side, if you have a product that may not necessarily be amazing and you're not able to sell a lot of them, they're going to run through this. They're going to see the numbers, and if they can't make it work, they're going to ditch you because they don't really believe in your product. They're going to believe in the ability to make money off of your product, and that's what they're doing. So that's kind of the 5 big ways that you can be able to work with agencies when it comes to Facebook advertising. Next up, I wanted to talk about the top 10 reasons for why you should be advertising on Facebook. And there's a lot of different reasons that happen, but I'm going to go through a couple of ones that I think are key. If you've ever had questions about Facebook advertising, or being able to explain it to a boss or a coworker or someone else that isn't advertising on Facebook, to say, hey, why should you be doing this? So I've got a list of 10. I'm going to try to roll through them. Number 1, Facebook has a massive audience. So they've got something like 1.7, 1.8 billion users that are using the site. And the number there that's so amazing is 1.2 billion of them log into the site every day, either from a mobile phone or for a desktop computer. And that's so amazing that there's such a big user base using this site that you then have the ability to go to and reach with your ads only targeted to a small segment. So that's number 1, the fact that Facebook has a big audience. Number 2, behavior targeting. So, Facebook gives you some massive targeting options for you to be able to reach the right person. And one of the best ones that you have is behavior targeting. This allows you to go after people based on home ownership, credit card usage, if they're a high spender. I mean, there's tons of different behaviors that Facebook has kind of pre-built and been able to, to sync in with their system. And again, this isn't something that's native to Facebook. But through the use of data partners, they're able to provide this for you, which ultimately allows you to target your ads more effectively. So I'm a big fan of behaviors. I love being able to use them for targeting. Number 3, Facebook is cost effective. I came from a Google background before I went 100% into Facebook ads. And I can be able to tell, I can tell you, when it comes to CPMs or cost per clicks, Facebook is generally way, way less expensive than you'll see on Google. Now they're definitely different in terms of, one is intent when people are Google searching something, but two, when Facebook opened up the news feed and was able to show ads into the news feed, there was incredible abilities for you to be able to go after the right person, show them images, show them videos, show them carousels. So that's again another fantastic reason to use Facebook ads. Facebook also has a huge mobile audience. In their last earnings report, I think they reported that 84% of their $6.2 billion came just from mobile ads or from mobile devices. So this is Facebook or Instagram or Messenger, people that are using it on a mobile phone. And this is such a big factor because this is where society has headed for a long time, and it's only going to continue much more. People use their phones a lot more than they use their computers. They have their phones with them at all points in the day. When they're standing in line at the DMV, they open up Facebook to see what's going on, and you have the ability to reach those people at that point in time. So again, very powerful when it comes to mobile usage. Custom audiences. This is a great tool that if you've never leveraged, you need to be able to do it. Custom audiences basically just let you target the people who you already know or are already in your list. These can be customers, leads, you can segment it different ways, website visitors. There's a ton of different options that you have for custom audiences. So if you haven't played with those yet, I would get in there. We usually test almost all of the options for all of our clients to make sure that the best options are there. We also have lookalike audiences. A lot of times when you target inside of a lookalike audience, you can be able to reduce the overall cost that you're paying per click. We've seen that on several instances. And it's basically taking a group of customers and expanding it out to a larger audience. Let's see. Number 8, multiple platforms or the audience network. So Facebook has the ability to not only reach people on Facebook, but they also own Instagram and Messenger. They also have the Facebook Audience Network, which is where you have the ability to place your ads on a variety of different mobile apps or websites across the internet as Facebook builds that partnership program. So what they do is they share the revenue with other app producers or content producers, and they then put your ads into the content. So that's how it works. And I would expect that to expand over the next couple of years. And it's a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to reach people outside of just Facebook. Let's see, collecting leads. This is something that most businesses want to be able to improve and solve, which is the ability to collect information from targeted people for either email list or for leads or to learn more about your business or to get them into a funnel where they're able to, be a part of the process or work closer towards becoming a customer or whatever your goal is. With Facebook lead ads, you have an incredible tool that isn't really available anywhere else, where you have a lead form pop up right on the phone, and the name, email, phone number, all the data that a lot of times you collect is pre-filled onto the form. So very powerful tool. I always recommend people doing that. And then let's see, number 10, A/B testing. This is something that Facebook gives you a lot of freedom on doing, and there's so many different things you can test. You have the ability to test objectives and the different objectives you're going after. You have the ability to test anything with targeting or budgets or bidding. Those are all different A/B tests that you have the ability to do. And then when it comes to ads, you can do image ads, carousel ads, slideshow ads, canvas ads, different layouts and formats. There's so many different options for you to be able to test. And Facebook has given you a great platform to be able to do that. Now, sometimes it gets a little complicated and overwhelming, and a lot of times that's why people ask or call up an agency saying, "Hey, can you help us do that?" But to some extent, it's a very, very powerful tool for you to be able to use. Okay, cool. I guess that's it for my 2 updates for today. So what I wanted to do now, we had a couple of questions that came through from last week, and I want to try to address those really quick. The first one was, so before I do that, if you have any questions, put it in the comments or write it out, and if I can get to them all, I will share them, while we're talking, and I'd just like to be able to, to help with those. So the first question I got from our first person, or from last week, was how do I report fake Facebook ads? So this is a good question. If you see an ad that might be violating one of Facebook's policy, maybe it has nudity in it, maybe it has a knockoff, Gucci purse, and this isn't the real Gucci, that they're trying to sell it. When you report ads, you help make Facebook a better place, because those type of ads aren't tricking or fooling any customers. And actually, Facebook relies on your feedback to be able to help find these type of advertisers and remove them from the system. So if you see an ad that is showing up that maybe is misleading or is producing some sort of content that maybe you feel like shouldn't be on Facebook, you have a couple of options. The first one is to go to the downward arrow on your ad on either a mobile phone or on a desktop computer. And right when you click that, you'll see an option that says hide ad. If you do that, that's not reporting it, but it is giving Facebook feedback that this ad you never want to see again. And that's something that Facebook takes very critical into the relevance score. So if a lot of people are saying, I don't want to see this ad, it can hurt the advertiser, and it'll eventually charge them more and more and more, and that will allow them to kind of go off the site. Because they're saying, hey, we're not profitable here. So that's the first thing, and probably the easiest that you can do. When you select a downward arrow, there's also an option that says, why am I seeing this? Now, if you click this, you can actually go in, and there's an option that says hide all ads from advertiser. So this isn't just hide the single ad. This is now hide everything from this company. Now, if you do that, that's one step more in telling Facebook, hey, whoever this is, I don't ever want to see ads from them again. Again, this isn't reporting them, but it is giving Facebook that quick feedback that they can be able to use to go back and look into these advertisers' accounts. If they see a lot of people reporting, I never want to see ads again, they'll actually look into the ad, look at what's going, look into the advertiser, and possibly ban them or prevent them from advertising in the future. The third option that you can do is you can always report it. Now this takes another extra step. There's a URL that you go to report any bad Facebook ads that you've seen or something that may be misleading or deceptive. For that, you go to facebook.com/help/contact and then /515-911-031-928-035. So a bit of a long number, but that goes to the actual page on Facebook's help page where you can submit a request to say, hey, I want to get an ad removed. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. Another question we had is, what do you think of the Apple TV Facebook app? So there is an app that you can download for Apple TV, which is you can watch live videos on it. To some extent, I actually think it's super exciting that you have the ability to now through your TV be able to watch what's happening live around the world to some extent, and it's being shown based off popularity. So I don't necessarily need to go and hunt and find the viral videos. As more people are watching something or commenting on it or it's getting a lot of notoriety, I have the ability to have it just show up and look, hey, what's going on here, and I can toggle in right from my TV. So again, I think it's very exciting because now, with my TV, I have the option to watch the news, which has always been the option for, since TV's been around, or I can watch Facebook. And to some extent, I actually really enjoy watching Facebook. We've watched a couple like car chases or police going after a car or something like that, as they're happening live. A lot of times we'll tune in and be like, oh, hey, look at this. But it's a little more exciting and relevant, I think, a lot of times, the news, and you're able to engage with it. So I actually really enjoy the Apple TV app. I think it's a lot of fun for Facebook. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? Do you use audience insights with your custom audience list? Yeah, Audience Insights is a fantastic tool. You always want to be using that. That allows you to take any of the data that you have. So say you have customers or leads or even people that are just visiting your website. And the Audience Insight report unlocks a lot of data that you can't get anywhere else on the internet. You're able to get, age and gender and other interests, and some of the, behaviors on social. Are they very social? Are they not so social? What type of phones or computers are they using? I'm trying to think what else is there. There's a bunch that you have the ability to look through. So it's a super powerful tool, and I always recommend checking it out and seeing what's there. All right, great questions. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, we will catch you on the next time that we go live. Have a great day.